Hello everyone, welcome to this AMA. And the purpose of AMA is it stands for Ask Me Anything. The purpose of having AMA is to let you see how we're able to make use of Excel and the data in your work. And today I have a very first question that I received, and because I do not have the data here. Okay, I do not have the actual data, so I'm using the mock data. The situation is like this one. They have multiple invoices, and each invoice has different individual file. And from the individual file, this person needs to go through individual file to find who are the customers purchase particular products. And usually the person need to open the file one by one. After a while, the file or the invoices getting more and more. Therefore, it's really not easy to look for the specific invoice for the customer name. So let me show you how the data looks like. And then we are able to work on this one together. Okay. Let me do this. So I have 3 invoices, invoice 1, 2, and 3. I'm using a simple format here. So let me open. So this is invoice number 1. It's opening. Yep. It's very simple invoice. It has the invoice number, the date, and the job. And the customer name is over here. And the items are inside here. The key information requires is the customer name and what are the items. Perhaps they want to know how many quantity they are purchasing. Perhaps what was the unit price back then. So they want to see all these things. And perhaps with the invoice date when they are selling this particular product. So this is the customer number 1 is Haley Clark. It only purchased 3 products. Let me close this file and I open the next invoice. This is invoice number 2. For invoice number 2, this is a number and the date. And the bill due is Alibaba is over here. And I want to, and this customer purchase different products and also different price and different quantity. So this is invoice number 2. So now I open invoice number 3. For the invoice number 3, it has something similar structure. Invoice number 3, and the customer name is called Party Boy. And this customer purchased more products and also something only this customer purchased, which is called Echo. Very simple, straightforward kind of data. So now I'm going to show you the thinking process behind how I'm going to approach this particular situation. If I open the file again, go back to invoice number 1, the data, they are scattered all across in a single worksheet. It has the invoice number, invoice date, the customer name, and the items, the unit price and everything. It's over here. And this kind of method is not easy to analyze because they are spread all over across. And before I dive in, I want to share with you my thinking process. I'm using a framework called ROCK, R-O-C-K. So now let me show you what does that mean. So this is a quick intro. ROCK stands for rectangle. So that means in our data, we want to make sure it has no blank rows, no blank columns, and it grows vertically and has no merging. O means only one. For the data, we want to make sure one cell, one data, one record, one row, and one header. C means careful. Sometimes our data may have extra spaces, decimal, date in a different format. And finally, to make the thing easy to reuse over and over again, that means keep raw data raw. I do not want to change the data directly, and I do not want to add new column in between my data, especially the raw data, and I do not want to use any color coding for specific meaning. So these are the 4 things. So now let me show you the file. And you notice the data is not in one continuous block. Some of the data is on the top here, like over here. So these are the things that are outside of the normal norm. This one is still okay, still within a block. And we just need to handle, we want to make sure we bring all these things to another columns here. We want to bring them to here. So that means it will be easier in one continuous block of table across multiple files. To do so, I'm going to use something called Power Query. So let me close this file and open a brand new Excel file here. And for those of you, let me know, are you going to follow this one along? If you do, please type number 1. If you do not, please type number 0. Because I want to manage my pace. If you're going to follow along, please type number 1. If not, type number 0. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you, William, for responding. Hey, thank you, Al, thank you, iPad. Good. For those of you, you want to follow along for the file I have just sent in the group, remember extract the file first. If you do not extract, you will not able to work. So what does that mean? So let me demonstrate. So this is the file, it's a zip file. If in normal Windows, when you double click, you will see something like this. If you double click, and you will see there's a wording called compress. When you see it has something like compress size in your Explorer, you want to click on extract all. Remember, otherwise you will not able to follow the next step. Okay, so make sure that is extract all. Let's see. Okay. Make sure your file is ready. So now I'm going into my folder here. In my folder here, I want to copy the address of the folder. Go to the top. This is called address bar. Right click and choose copy address. Right click and choose copy address. If you're able to follow the step just now, please type number 2 for those of you are following. Please type number 2 if you are following. Okay, thank you. So I want to see we have 3 persons going to follow along. That's good. I will just want to make sure you all are together. Then go back to Excel. I go to data. Go to left side. Let me make it smaller a little bit. Yes, make it smaller. I go to data, get data from file, from folder. If you do not see this one in your Excel, maybe your Excel is not in the latest version, perhaps you are using online version or some other spreadsheet application. This one only works for Excel, yeah? Go to from folder, click. Once you click from folder, it will ask you where is the folder. Over here, you just paste the folder, enter. Paste it at the bottom and press enter. It will brings you to an empty space like this one. Because inside the invoice data, it has no subfolders inside. If you are seeing what am I seeing at this moment, please type number 3. Please type number 3 if you are seeing what am I seeing. Okay, good. Thank you. Let's see, there's one more. Okay, thank you. Then we click open. We click open. Then let's wait for a while for it to load. And you should be able to see there are 3 files here. There are only invoice 1, 2, 3. If you are not able to see this one, maybe you are still inside a zip file. So if you are inside the zip file, just go out quickly, extract all, and repeat the step just now. If you are able to see these 3 files, as per the screen, please type number 4. I see no response. Most likely you are not able to follow. Let me know if you need some support. You can just type in the chat what kind of things you are looking at. Yeah, let me backtrack a little bit. Just now, you need to extract all first. If you double click for this one, because I'm using a different program, if you double click, you will see something like this. If you go inside the folder, it looks okay. It looks okay. Let me demonstrate the wrong way of doing. I've just copy address. I close my Windows just now. Get data from file, from folder. If I paste the folder just now, and you will see it has zip file. It's inside zip file. If I continue, open, I'll get an error. The folder name is not valid. If you get something like this one, that is not correct. Yeah. Let me go to invoice data. I just continue. Open. And for those of you unable to continue, you could watch the recording later. Any question, please ask in the chat. Okay. Then from here, I want to combine them, and I want to do some transformation. Transformation here, transformation equals to correction. Because the data is there multiple places, I want to bring all of them together. So I want to do transformation. Go towards the bottom, you have something called combine. I click on the combine and transform data. Click on combine and transform data. Subsequently, it will ask me which worksheet, because they are Excel file. They're Excel file, and let's wait for a while for it to load. Yes, I want to load it from invoice. This is the worksheet I want to have. And for those of you, if you are able to follow up to this one, please type number 5. If you're not typing, that means I'm just presume you are not able to follow. That'll be good for you to catch up the recording later. Okay, thank you, Al, for responding. And some of you may ask, hey, Tai, what if my worksheet, my invoice has different worksheet name? Over here, my invoice, they are consistent. It's called invoice. If your invoice has a different worksheet name, that will be good. You could ask in a different question. So it has a different way of working. That will be great. You can ask the question earlier so that I could go through your file and give you a much more relevant solutions. Now, I just keep it simple. Everything, they're having the same worksheet name. So now they are same. So I could just click OK. And it will brings me to Power Query Editor. If I'm able to see the Power Query Editor, please type number 6. Type number 6 if I'm able to see something like this one called Power Query Editor. Yeah, different computer may take different time to load it. Okay, good. So now, whenever you are here, you just want to make sure there are 2 places you want to adjust. First, it's called transform sample file. I'm not changing the name, I just let it be. Transform sample file is individual file processing. So just now I mentioned the ROCK, particularly about ROC. I want to do it here. So that means I want to do some correction and so on. And here, the last one, this one is after all the files are combined as one. Some situation you want to do the correction at once together. So this is the place, this individual file, and this is after they have combined as one. For the data just now, I want to bring them into one continuous block of data. So that is on individual file processing. So I click transform sample file. Inside transform sample file, I want to observe where is the data for the customer name. Scroll, okay, the customer name is over here. The invoice number, it has a name called invoice, invoice date, and something called bill due. So that means I could base on the column 6 and find the wording called invoice number, invoice date, and bill due to capture these 3 informations so that I'm able to bring them to a specific column on their own. So let me show you for this one. Here, I'm going to click on this particular cell because I'm going to use this one later on. I could just copy, Control-C, go to Add Column, Custom Column. Okay, wrong choice, not custom column. That'd be great to use conditional column. I'm going to use something like if condition. So the column name is invoice number, where the column 6, this is a column 6, invoice number, equals to invoice number. If it's yes, so I want to get the data from column 7, which is this one, column 7, and this is else. We just leave it blank. Inside here, whenever it's blank, it will treat it as now. So I could just ignore this one and click OK. You will add a new column. Here is 1, and the rest of them is now. Later, I'm going to fill down. So this one is done. Then I'll move on to the next part, which is the invoice date. Same thing. Click on this cell, copy, conditional column. The name will be the name I have just copied, and that will be based on column 6. Column 6 equals to the value, and I want to choose from a column 7. Column 7, yep, that is the one, column 7, and this is the invoice date. And okay, add another one. Lastly is bill due. Click on this particular cell, copy, conditional column. The column name is bill due. Column number 6 equals to the value bill due. And the output is column 7. Yeah, that will be something like this. So bill due, and this column 7, and this column 6 and column 7. Yeah, got it. Then we just click OK. Because this particular file belongs to a single invoice, so that means they are going to have a same invoice number, invoice date, and bill number. So they are on individual cell on the top. I want to copy downwards. That's called fill down. Then I want to select these 3 columns. Click on the invoice number. Hold down Shift key and click on the bill due. It will select all 3 columns. Right-click on the header and choose fill down. Fill down, and let's wait for a while. Yeah, it copied the data downwards. Good. So now the entire sheet having the same invoice number, invoice date, and bill due. The next one, I'm going to remove certain data where it is not relevant. This is the moment I'm going to find certain pattern where there will be like quantity. When the quantity is now, like all this now, so that means they are not a relevant data. So I can filter column 4 and take out the noun. Click OK. All the noun disappears. Yeah, almost there, almost there. And finally, I want to change the header name. I do not want to use promote header because the name for the customer and the invoice number, they varies from one sheet or one file with another file. I do not want to do this one. So I just want to manually change the header name. Just click on the item number, double click on column, the header, paste it, enter. Do the same thing for the remaining. Enter this quantity, unit price. Okay. Discount. I'm not going to keep this one. The price. Okay, this is the price I want to keep. And maybe, okay, just keep the discount. Later on, maybe they want to do some analysis based on discount. And let's see what else. No, that's all. And I'm going to keep certain column and remove the rest. To make it easier, we go to home. There's something called choose columns. Click on choose columns. Pick the column that has name and ignore the rest. Okay. Then click OK. Very good. Almost there. We are going to move the invoice number, invoice date, and the bill due towards the front. Select last three columns. Right click. Move to beginning. Click. They are moved to beginning. Let's wait for a while. Yes. After that, the very first row is not needed. So we can go to remove rows, remove top rows. I'm going to choose remove top one row. Click OK. Yes, done. Almost there. Yes, almost there. Then we go to this transform sample file. This is going to process on individual file. After all the individual files they are processed, we are going to combine them together inside invoice data. Click on the invoice data. The change type has error. We just remove it. It shows everything here. The source name, if let's say that's not something you want, you could just remove it. Just right click, remove. And the rest, I want to make the correction for the data type. To make it easy, you could just select all, Control A, select all, go to transform, detect data type. This is a quick and dirty way, may not be 100% accurate. Presume all my data is perfect, so there's no hiccup of the data. So I could just detect data type and it will correct the data type. So you change this one to date, this one to text, and this to text. And it goes to number, unit price, and yep, now the discount is nothing. So I just let it be. Finally, to bring everything back to Excel, we go to Home, Close and Load. Let's wait for a while, and it will load the whole thing in the brand new worksheet. Yes, and ta-da! Okay, good. So I have invoice number. If I want to do some analysis, perhaps I want to search the particular product. I want to search the product alpha. Alpha, yes, these are the customer purchase. So this is a very quick and simple way. Some people may be asking, hey, Tai, what if I have new invoice coming in? Do I need to redo all the steps? The answer is no. Let me show you. I go back to my folder just now, the data file. The data file is here. I copy, paste, and make it as this invoice 4. Invoice number 4. I open the file and change the invoice number to number 4. And the date is 4th of December, the job name, party, and bill due. Let's change something called brilliant bill. Okay, the address, just let it be. Remove all the things I'm not going to use at this moment. Just remove them. Unit price, also remove them. Just have a new item number B123. And the description is called, give me some ideas. What will be the item? Yeah, you can type in the chat. What will be the item? Cat food. Okay, cat food. Okay, quantity. Okay, you can type other few items. Yeah, you can type other few items in the chat so I can add on more. I just add on quantity 5. The cat food is 50. Premium cat food. What other items? B124. B125. Okay, give me 2 more items. Please type in the chat. We have cat food. What else? Seafood. Okay, seafood 10. Hey, so this will be 500. Even expensive. Okay, someone is typing on the screen. Don't type. Okay. Okay. Chicken. Okay, good. Seafood, chicken. Chicken, this is 50. Okay. Opposite of the price is 5. Not 5. Okay, make it 0.5. Weird number. So we have 3 new items and 3 different code, different quantity, and the customer is called Brilliant Bill. So I just save it, close it. I just to double check, I place the file inside the invoice data, same like just now. Same like just now, I scroll down, my current data don't see any called Brilliant Bill. I don't have see anything. To get this one updated, we could just right click on the green table, refresh, or you could go to data, inside data and click on refresh all. Yeah, click on refresh all. Let's wait for a while. Hey, job done. Ta-da! Yes. Yeah, that is the whole thing. And it's very, very useful. And you're able to see how we're able to get the data in. Nice. Good. I just want to have some caveat here, some caveat. Some people may say, hey, Tai, when I look at your solution or your example, everything looks so simple. When I go back to my actual work, it doesn't work. Let me put some caveat first. Some people call it TNC. This is TNC. They are having a simple invoice. So I just want to put a consistent structure. Consistent structure means the row, the column, and yeah, the row and column is very, very important. And some more, they're having a same worksheet name. They also have single worksheet. Some company, they have multiple tabs for a single invoice. And some, they also have a multiple worksheet. Some of them are the older revision and some are the newer division. So they are using manual way to decide which one is the newer one, which one are the older ones. So that one is not included here. And there's a few more things here. They are using same file type. Some company, they have Excel file, Word document, PDF file, images, and so on. So that one has a different way of working. Okay. And they are inside in a same folder and only one file type in the folder. So these are the terms and conditions, what and why the solution just now it works. Okay, so this one, I hope this one gives you some idea. And for those of you, you may feel it's not something you want more. please ask your question earlier. Because in the group, I already say, hey, there's a AMA coming, please ask the question. Yeah, if you have the fear you might forget, next month, you ask now so that you will not forget. Yeah. Okay, so now this is the question I have addressed, and this only question I have received. I'm going to open up to allow you all to unmute yourself if you wish to ask any question. Yeah, so you could just type in the chat, or you could just unmute yourself and ask your question. We have about 29 minutes to go. Yep. Any questions? I've just addressed one question. No, thank you. I see a couple of new names in the room. Perhaps you could type in the chat, what are the works you are doing now? What are the works you are doing? Please type in the chat, especially the works you are doing inside Excel. Okay. Nisa asked, right, we'd like to know how to build in PivotTable. Oh, Nisa, I just want to ask few questions. If you're okay, you could just unmute. That will be faster. If you're not comfortable, perfectly okay. The first question I want to ask is, where do you get the data? Is it download from server, or you copy from someone else, or you manually entered? Just curious, Nisa, what is your data source? From system. Very good. Second question is, does your data has some discrepancy? Discrepancy means, yes, sometimes may have certain blanks. Sometimes you need to clean up certain data. For example, the date may not be in the format you're looking for. Yeah. Does it have a discrepancy? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. And the third question is, because I don't have how the data looks like. Okay, I think the two questions is enough for me to give you some ideas. First, you want to make sure your data is clean up. It's very, very important. If your data has a lot of manual work, that will cause a lot of struggle later on. One of the ways, there are few ways to do it, because I have no idea how your data looks like. Let's wait for a while, yeah? And while I'm going to get the file, you could some of you can just continue to type your question in the chat. Let me get a sample file. This is the file I use in my training. So I want to use this one to illustrate the thinking process. And for others, please type in the chat, yeah? Please type in the chat while I'm getting the file. Where's my file? This is my actual learning file, actual training file. Wait for a while. Okay, it's opening. Hey, not this one. Where is the file? It's wrong folder. While waiting, please type in the chat for some other question that you want to ask. Okay, I'm getting this file. Okay, got it. I have this file ready. Later on, I will share this file in the chat, yeah, in the chat. Now, presume this is the data I have. I have something called data and customer. Yes, okay. I have data and customer. Yes, good. I want to bring the data together. It will be something similar, like sometimes my data has some discrepancy that I need to handle. And presume all the discrepancy I could handle using formula. So that will be how I do it. And you could see the data has no blank rows, no blank columns. Whenever we are working with the data, just remember the word ROCK. R stands for rectangle. We want to make sure our data grows vertically. Yes, no merging and no blank rows or no blank columns. Look at the data, has no merging, no blank rows, no blank columns, and everything goes vertically. Very good. Next one is about O, means only one cell, one data, one record, one row, and also has one header. Good. And finally is careful. Careful, we want to make sure the data has no blank, no spaces, and the date and time in the correct format. Now everything is okay for our data here. Presume your data need to have some extra stuff. You could, if you say, I did not answer your question, please ask later on in the group, yeah? I hope this one gives you some support. And last one, the K is keep raw data raw. I do not want to change the raw data whenever possible. Even though I want to do some correction, I do it outside. Let me show you. I have a data here. As a date, customer, and quantity. And I have a customer here where it has a customer name, industry, and region. I want to add on the industry and region to here. And usually people will be using XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP directly. Before we do any formula, I want to invite you to create this one as an Excel table, because when you are using Excel table, it makes it easier to reuse. I do not want to rework, I want to reuse. So that's whole intention. So let me show you. I go to insert, table, table. Or you could use the keyboard shortcut, Control T. Click. Then it will highlight the whole thing. My table has headers. Click OK. Right after you have created a table, we change the name. Currently, it says Table 1. Table 1 is not descriptive enough. And my recommendation, we start the table name with the word table. Later on, I will explain why. Table, data, enter. That's it. So this is done. And I move on to the next part. It's called customer. Same thing, the ROCK, double check. Yes, nothing in between, no merging, everything okay. Then I go to insert table. The whole thing is highlighted. Click OK. After that, immediately we change the name customer, table customer. Enter. Done. So now I have the data. The very first column is the things we are going to look for, and which is the customer name. Industry and at the column number 2, region is at the column number 3. To keep it simple, I just use VLOOKUP. And just for your information, we could use XLOOKUP as well. XLOOKUP, yeah. If you want to learn how to use VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP, you could check out the recording that is available in YouTube. I have explained this too. So now I just keep it simple, where I'm just showing VLOOKUP. Go to data. I want to add a new column. It's called industry and region. Just go to D2, type industry, enter. Just go for VLOOKUP. Equal VL, tab key, select the customer name, comma, he asks for a table array. We want to refer to the entire table on the next worksheet, where we have created a name called table customer. To refer to that, we just go by the name, table customer. That is the reason why we start the worksheet name with the word table. When everything using the same consistent name, we don't need to remember. Just type table, it will come out the list for all the tables in this file. It makes the work very, very easy. So just table customer, tab key, and comma. Industry is at the column number 2, comma 0 for the exact match, close parenthesis, and enter. And you notice the formula copy downwards automatically because we use Excel table. So that's the reason why. We have industry, then we go for the next one. It's called region. Region, using VLOOKUP as well, equal VL, tab key, lookup value is the customer, comma, table array. I can't remember the table because all our table names start with the word table. Just type TAB. It shows all the tables in this file. Again, we can just select table customer, comma, region is at column number 3, comma 0, close parenthesis and enter, and ta-da, job done. So now I have this, I bring all the data together. I have all the columns added for the correction or merging the data. Once we have all these things ready, the next one, I just go to insert pivot table. And you will notice it goes by the name. It doesn't go by the range. It means, what does it mean? If I add the new column in the future here, it will refer by the same name. I do not need to change the source again in the pivot table. Ever. Don't need to change the source. Everything is there. And finally, click OK. It will brings me to a new worksheet called with something called PivotTable fields. Let me change it to a default setting. If you are using the PivotTable for the very first time, this is some brief walkthrough. And as you could see, there's something called PivotTable fields when you click inside the PivotTable. If I click outside, the PivotTable fields disappears. Click inside, it appears. Click outside, disappears. In the future, when the thing disappears, just to make sure you are inside the PivotTable field. So this is the first reminder. Second reminder is, if I close PivotTable fields, to bring it back, we right-click inside the pivot tables and choose Show Field List. The last one, Show Field List. And this is how it works. Click outside, disappears. Click inside, it appears. Okay, Nisa, Ken? So this is how it works. And on the top, it shows the data we have from the worksheet just now. Yes, a date, customer, quantity, industry, and region. And I want to get the total of the quantity. I could just click on the checkbox for the quantity. Because quantity is number, it will automatically go to values. If I do not want to use quantity, untick, it will remove. Or I could just drag the quantity towards values. If I do not want to use this one, drag it out. So this is how it works. So I add the quantity. Based on the quantity, sometimes boss or the management wants to see the breakdown of the quantity by the region. I want to see by the region. Click on the region. You can see the breakdown by the region. Sometimes the management, they want to see breakdown further by the industry. I click on the industry. You can see it further breaks down. Then I could click on the plus or minus sign to collapse or expand. So it allows us to have a greater flexibility of the viewing. If I want to show the region on the side and the industry on the top, so I could just drag the industry towards columns and ta-da, everything changes. Click inside. If I say I do not want to see the industry, just move it out and it goes back to the normal. Perhaps you want to analyze by the customer. You could add the customer to the rows. You can see breaks down by different customer for different region. Or I could just drag the region towards columns. You can see. So this is a different way of working. After we have done this, sometimes you may want to do some adjustment on the number. Currently, the number doesn't show the comma as a 1000 separator. To do the formatting, just within the values, right-click any of them, choose number format. For the formatting inside pivot table, we do not use format cell, we use number format. Click on the number format, and we go to number, use 1000 separator without decimal, and click OK, and ta-da, job done. And sometimes you want to do, you want to check what are the formatting options available for your pivot table. So I could just add on the industry, make it a bit more complex. Have something like this one. And I want to see what are the options available. I can go to design. So this is something called table styles, pivot table styles. Click. There's many styles for you to pick. And you could choose banner rows, banner columns. And sometimes you could choose a different report layout. Currently, it's called compact. You could change it to outline. Let me zoom out a little bit. You could change it to tabular. You could change it back to compact. For the blank rows, you could insert blank rows whenever it goes to different groups. You could insert blank rows. You can see blank rows added. If you do not want it, just remove blank rows. Meanwhile, for the total and as well as the grand total, you could turn them off. That means you do not want to show the grand total. Or you want to show the grand total only for the rows. That means on the side. At the bottom, they don't have a grand total. You have a chance to choose. For the subtotal, you could say do not show the subtotal. You can see number disappears. Show subtotal on the top. Show the subtotal at the bottom. So you have many, many options here. So these are the quick run through for you to use PivotTable. So Nisa, hopefully this one give you some ideas. Are you okay so far? Just very quick run through. Okay, good. Thank you, thank you. Good job, good job. Okay, any other questions? We have about 12 more minutes to go. Just curious, Nisa, what is your Excel version? What is your Excel version? 365, 2021, or what is your Excel version? Enough for today. Oh, okay, good. Thank you, William. You're very, very supportive. Thank you for being here. Your presence makes me feel so happy. Any other question, please type in the chat. Okay. Forget what version, need to recheck. Okay, okay. Let me show you another way of working, just to let you see what is possible. Just now I use VLOOKUP to bring two data together, and then I use pivot table. So now I'm going to show you a different way of working. Go back to my file just now. Let me remove my pivot table. Hey, where's the thing? Let me remove my pivot table and remove the formula. Plus, I want to reverse the table, convert back to range. Now it's no longer a table. Let me do this, convert back to range. Now it's no longer a table. Same thing, I need to convert them. If it's this first time you're using, you have two tables that you want to link them together. Always, the first thing is using ROCK to double check on your data. After that, just create a table, change the name, table data. Yeah, change it. Then go to customer, click inside, insert table. Then okay, change the name to table customer. Once it's done, the next thing is I want to use something called Power Pivot. Over here, there's something called Power Pivot. I go to Power Pivot, click inside the table. I'm on inside the customer, add to data model. Then it will bring me to a place called Power Pivot for Excel. So like you load for a while, the data is loaded. Very good. Very good. Okay, so this is done. Then I go to data here. Same thing, add to data model. Wait for a while. In normal Excel, we use VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP to link two data together. Over here, we could use something called relationship. I go to diagram view. What is the common data they have? Yeah, please type in the chat. What is the common data they have between these two tables? Customer, thank you. Yeah, it's customer. So that means to set the relationship, we could just use the mouse to drag from the customer, go to another table, the customer, drop it, and you will see the line is set there. So that's a relationship. Once it's done, we could just close the pivot table, our Power Pivot. Go back to Excel. I'm going to add a pivot table. So this is something a younger brother of pivot table, and is younger and much more powerful. Let's see. I go to insert. There's something called pivot table. We click on the lower half of the pivot table and we choose from data model. Click on from data model. Okay, from data model. Yeah, go to new worksheet, click OK. The best thing is you could see all the tables here. To do the analysis, like just now, we don't need to perform any lookup. I could just go to table data, quantity, then I want to get the industry from customer. Click, done. Yeah, done. Don't need to perform lookup, nothing, done. This is very, very useful, especially you are handling a larger volume of data. Very, very useful. That's called Power Pivot. It's available in a lot of Excel. Nowadays, I believe most of your Excel, you have this one. If you're running on Windows, if you're running on Mac, currently don't have. Windows, yes, it does. Power Pivot, very, very useful. Okay, so now any final question before we wrap up for today? Any final questions?
Hi, Mr. Tai.
Yes.
It's just curious, where do we check for this, from the website, or the Microsoft on the Excel, how do we know there's some new features
Oh, how do you
in
know what's
Excel?
new, right?
Yes, correct.
You could just go on online Excel. You could say what's new in Excel. Because if I'm using 365, you could go to let me do a search. Let me do a demonstration here. I just go to my browser. Okay, browser. I say what's new in Excel 365. Just type it. Yeah, there's something called pivot by, wrap, row, take, drop. These are the quite okay one. There's something called what's new? November 2025. Last month. What's new? Here, get data dialog, web search. Very interesting. It's using agent, anthropic model. There's a get data, some small dialogues. Preview and you see something called insider. Insider is something they release for early testing. Usually for corporate, they will turn off this one because insider sometimes is not stable. So usually the corporate, if you are using company Microsoft Office, usually they will not allow this one because they want to measure stability. This one allows you to see things. Yeah. So this allows you to see what's new. I hope this addressed your question.
All right, thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. I see there's some chat here. Okay, Excel block. Yeah, there's another thing called Excel block. Let me show you. Yes, Excel block. Search for Excel block. Thank you. Thank you, L, for sharing. Agent mode. I haven't tested this one. So this is the recent one, Excel World Championship. Wow, so nice. When someone say this one, they posted, they share the news to me. Not just contemplating. Should we do this? Okay, now I want to share this one more thing to wrap up this one nicely. When you're working with a report, we want to make sure there's a 3 levels: input, process, output. Input, it could be our data file, could be an individual file or multiple files. Process, it could be how we handle it, and the output. So just a quick run through. Input, these are the data, and this is a report. I call it as a 3 different maturity level. Higher maturity level means it has greater flexibility and it can handle the data better, much more optimized. Usually, people, they have a data, they just do some formulas and pivot table and just churn out the report. That's all. And sometimes, because of the data is quite messy, they use something called Power Query to handle the data before they produce a report. And sometimes they have something called Power Pivot to handle some calculation like just now, link to multiple data together, then they're able to produce a report. And something they have missed, which is combine Power Query and Power Pivot together, and they will see something like this. They have Power Query to bring the data together, and then they use Power Pivot to link the data together, and then only produce a report. So this is something for you to consider. Okay, so this is something I want to add on. Yeah. Okay, now we have about 2 more minutes plus. Please type in the chat, what is the one thing you like the most about session today? What's the one thing you like the most? Please type in the chat, what's one thing you like the most? Power Pivot, thank you. Yes, something new. It has been here for quite some time, more than 10 years. More than 10 years. Previously, Power Pivot was not stable and it could crash Excel without any warning. Nowadays, better. Yes, Power Pivot, very, very useful. So next time, when you're going to have AMA, not sure what to ask about this one. Okay. Very good, very good. Any other things? Nothing. Okay, good. Thank you very much for your participation. Where to find Power Pivot? Very good. Power Pivot is an add-in. Thank you, Joseph, for asking the question. Let me go back to my Excel. Not all Excel will have Power Pivot shown on the screen. If I on my Excel, I may not see Power Pivot here. What you could do, you go to any of the ribbon on the top. That means those menu on the top. You right-click any of them and choose Customize the ribbon. When you click Customize the ribbon, it brings you to Excel options. Inside Excel options, go to left side, second from the bottom, add-ins. Click on the add-ins, then go to middle bottom, change to com add-ins. Middle bottom, change it to com add-ins. After com add-ins, click go next to it, and you will see one of them is Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Power Pivot for Excel. Tick on this one and say OK. Then you're able to see the Power Pivot here. I hope this addressed your question, Joseph. Nice. Yes. Good. Okay. Yes, another way, there is possible data options. Yeah, thank you, CT, for sharing this one. Let me show on the screen. This is the method I show. It works for all Excel version. So sometimes if you are using 365, you could see something like this one. In your data, it's just on the left side, on the right side here, Power Pivot. Yeah, you could click on this one. Manage data model, 3D map, relationship is inside here. Okay, I hope this gives you some ideas what is possible. With that, take care everyone, and I see you when I see you. And bye-bye.